Welcome to Historical Reasons. We bring you amazing stories from history. Subscribe and enjoy the video. Annie Edson Taylor survives Niagara Falls at the age of 63. Annie Edson Taylor shocked the world by going over Niagara Falls inside a wooden barrel. She became the first person to survive such a dangerous stunt, proving that courage could sometimes overcome nature's fury. Her daring act made her famous, though not as rich as she dreamed. Fanny Cochran Smith records ancient songs. Fanny Cochran Smith, one of the last Tasmanian Aboriginal women, recorded her people's traditional songs. These rare recordings became priceless because they preserved a language and culture that was on the edge of extinction. Her voice carried history that future generations would never have known otherwise. Norway tastes its first bananas 1905. When bananas first arrived in Norway, people treated them like a luxury from a faraway world. Many had never seen such a fruit before, and trying one was considered an exciting adventure. This small event showed how global trade was beginning to change everyday life. A Victorian house on the move in San Francisco. An entire Victorian house was placed on wheels and pulled through the streets by horses. People stood amazed as a home rolled slowly past them. It showed how determined families were to keep their homes even after the devastating earthquake. Atlantic City's Golden Summers. Atlantic City once became a playground for Americans, where families, couples, and friends crowded its wide beaches. Visitors came to escape the summer heat, enjoy the sea breeze, and show off the latest fashions. The city soon became a symbol of leisure and modern fun. The first woman taxi driver in Paris, Madame de Corel, became the first woman to drive a taxi in the busy streets of Paris. At a time when women were rarely seen behind the wheel, she broke barriers with her confidence. Her story gave hope to others who wanted to step outside traditional roles. Niagara Falls freezes solid 1911. In the winter of 1911, Niagara Falls froze so completely that people could walk across the icy riverbed. Visitors wandered under frozen sheets of water, amazed by the silent beauty. For a short time, one of nature's strongest forces stood perfectly still. Jim Thorpe's Olympic triumph. American athlete Jim Thorpe amazed the world by winning Olympic gold medals in track and field. On the day of competition, his shoes were stolen, but he borrowed mismatched ones and still won. His story became a lesson in resilience and determination against all odds. Brooklyn Bridge painters at Great Heights. Workers who painted the Brooklyn Bridge risked their lives every day without modern safety gear. Standing hundreds of feet above the river, they balanced carefully on narrow beams. Their courage kept the famous bridge shining as a symbol of New York's strength. Harley-Davidson's early growth. 1914. In 1914, the young founders of Harley-Davidson posed proudly with their motorcycles. Their machines, built in small workshops, were quickly becoming a symbol of freedom and power. This marked the beginning of one of the most legendary motorcycle companies in history. Female ice workers during the war. When many men went away to fight in World War I, women stepped into tough jobs that were normally reserved for men. One striking example was female ice workers delivering heavy blocks of ice to homes and businesses. Their hard work showed how women carried the weight of daily life during difficult times. Samuel Reshevsky, the child chess prodigy, only 8 years old. Samuel Reshevsky stunned the world by playing simultaneous chess matches against grown masters. Crowds gathered to watch this small boy think faster than men decades older than him. His early talent became the foundation of a legendary career in the game of kings. Margaret Gorman wins Miss America 1921 at just 16 years old. Margaret Gorman became the very first Miss America. With her youthful charm and elegance, she represented a new vision of beauty in modern America. The contest, held in Atlantic City, would grow into a national tradition that continues even today. Politicians throw snowballs at the Capitol in the winter of 1921. US politicians stepped away from serious business and started a playful snowball fight outside the Capitol. It was a rare and light-hearted moment that showed a different side of political life. For a brief time, leaders forgot the weight of their responsibilities and simply enjoyed the snow. School children drink milk in Madison before national school lunch programs existed. Students in Madison, Wisconsin were already encouraged to drink milk for health. Teachers and doctors believed it would make children stronger and smarter. It was an early example of schools trying to guide healthy habits that are common today. Elevated traffic lights in New York, 1922. In the early 1920s, traffic in New York City became so chaotic that police introduced elevated traffic lights. Officers stood in towers and manually operated the signals to control the growing number of cars. These strange towers became a symbol of a city learning to manage modern machines. Archaeologists dine inside a pharaoh's tomb in 1923. A group of archaeologists in Egypt celebrated their discoveries by dining inside the tomb of Pharaoh Ramses. Surrounded by ancient carvings and artifacts, their meal felt more like a surreal banquet in another world. Today, such a dinner would be considered shocking, but at the time it reflected curiosity and excitement. A family builds a bridge of chairs during the Paris floods of 1924. Water filled the streets and made everyday movement impossible. One resourceful family placed chairs together in a line, creating a makeshift bridge to cross the water. It was a clever and humorous solution that showed human creativity even in hard times. Cyclists smoke during the Tour de France in the 1920s. Some cyclists believed smoking would help them breathe better during long races. Riders were often seen puffing on cigarettes while pedaling through the French countryside. Today it sounds strange, but back then it was part of the myths and toughness of early cycling. BBC creates sound effects 1927. Before modern technology, BBC workers used everyday objects to create radio sound effects. Shaking metal sheets made thunder, and coconuts mimicked horse hooves. These simple tricks added life to radio dramas and proved that imagination could turn ordinary items into magic. Musicians dress as Michelin mascots. 1928, the Michelin Hour radio show featured live music, but performers wore costumes shaped like the Michelin Man. Audiences laughed while listening, knowing that even serious musicians were wrapped up in humor. It was a strange mix of entertainment and advertising that left a lasting impression. Girls used portable beach dressing booths and busy beaches in the 1920s. Privacy was rare, so portable dressing booths became popular. Young women carried foldable closets to change into swimsuits without embarrassment. These small tents symbolized changing fashion and freedom for women at the seaside. Rockefeller hands coins to children. 1929, billionaire John D. Rockefeller was often seen giving shiny coins. 2 children he met. For him, it was a simple gesture, but for many poor families, it became a treasured memory. His act turned into a tradition that showed a softer side of one of America's richest men. Ostrich carts in Pasadena, 1930, in California. Ostriches were trained to pull carts, and people rode them for fun. Postcards from Pasadena showed smiling riders enjoying this unusual attraction. Though impractical, ostrich carts became a quirky symbol of early tourism in the West. Daredevils walk on biplane wings during the 1930s. Aerial stunt performers entertained crowds by walking on the wings of flying airplanes. With no safety harness, they balanced high above the ground as engines roared. The stunts amazed audiences, but came with deadly risks. Depression-era acrobats on the Empire State Building. In the tough years of the Great Depression, acrobats performed balancing acts at the top of the Empire State Building. Their dangerous shows were meant to distract and entertain people who were struggling. It was both inspiring and terrifying to watch. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like to support our work and share your thoughts in the comments.